We have all said it. I'll finish reading that book or writing that book when we have time. I'll paint that masterpiece when things slow down. But what if you stop waiting for that perfect moment? Maybe packed your bag and chase that muse instead. Welcome to the rise of the creative intensive. Here is the thing about that muse. She is completely unhinged. She does not care that you are in the shower. She does not care that you are blow drying your hair with one hand and writing a mental grocery list in the other. She will show up on a Tuesday with the best idea you have ever had, and you will sprint to your phone in a towel to get it down before it poof disappears. But here's what she won't do. She won't help you finish. She'll spark it. She'll tease it. She'll leave you with 3 voice memos and a note that just says, that thing, you know the one. And then life takes over. And that is what a creative intensive does. It is not about finding the muse. You have already got her. It's about giving that one bucket list dream the dedicated time, the space, and maybe even the destination it truly deserves. Hello, dreamers, believers, and bucket list retreaters. Welcome back to Bucket List Retreats, the podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Morgan Murley. And if you're new here, welcome in. This is the place we talk about retreats that don't just change your itinerary, they change your life. Today, if you are watching on YouTube, you are seeing everything in purple. My sweatshirt is purple. My nails are purple. And of course, my Stanley is purple and all decked out with the accessories my daughter got me for Mother's Day. And I am just drinking straight, beautiful, amazing well water. It's so good. But what if you could go off and chase your dream right now? I knew a man once who got an amazing job and it was really hard work. But one of the benefits was human resources wanted to know all about you and what your life's dream was and how they could help. Turns out, I already knew this, but he was a comedian and he wanted to make it. They ended up changing his location, moving him, transferring him out to Los Angeles, where he got to pursue his dream while keeping his job. It was an amazing opportunity, and it is this dream chasing or maybe goal making that we are talking about in regards to retreating today. This is something that has really been lighting up the retreat world in a really big way. And honestly, it's been lighting up my brain too. We are talking about creative intensives and how they work with retreating. It's that moment when you stop dabbling and actually commit. Maybe even pack a bag. You show up and give that dream project full, undivided, no excuses attention it has always deserved. And I know what you're thinking, Kelly, I don't have time for that. But isn't that what you have always said? I am going to lovingly push back on that. Because what we are seeing across the retreat landscape is that people like you are making the time. They are coming home with finished manuscripts, painted canvases, and skills they have never had before, and a whole new sense of who and what they are as a creator. We are going to unpack all of that today, where to find these experiences, how to design them, and what actually happens when you give your muse the room she has been asking for. But first, as always, retreat news and reviews. Starting with retreat news, we want to know what is going on out there in the retreat world. And our producer Penelope ran across the greatest information today. She just knocked it out of the park. This week's article in Retreat News totally sets the stage for what we are talking about. Because here at the show, we are always saying that a bucket list isn't just about a destination on the map. For a bird watcher, it's finally seeing that bird you have been looking for. For a creator, it's finishing that craft. So we were already deep down this rabbit hole, and this article popped up, which confirms exactly what we are talking about. Recently out at getyourguide.com, a great place to get a guide. I used them when I was in the Dominican Republic in December and I was traveling solo. So it was nice to find a group tour that I could join. It turned out there was only two other people in the group. So we had so much of the guide's attention and it was fantastic. I would love to give you an affiliate link, but you have to have 3,000 followers on Instagram for them to consider you. And that is something I'm working really hard towards. So if you would click on the link in the show notes and follow us, we would really appreciate it. All right, let's dive into this article. Why Grandma Guides Could Be an Antidote to Modern Loneliness. Driven by a desire for nostalgic experiences, travelers are booking grandma guides and adding the most comforting, delicious memories of their trips. If you are listening and not watching, we are looking at a picture of, okay, we can call her a grandma, but she doesn't look necessarily super old, but an Italian cook, shall we say, holding up two huge plates or work boards of pasta that looks fantastic. Let's check out the article. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there were a couple of paragraphs that I wanted to go over because the statistics are so interesting. Cooking classes aren't the only space where this desire to connect with a grandma is taking root. To date, hashtag Grandmacore has more than 25 million views and counting on TikTok. It began trending around 2020 when bored lockdown users began posting themselves embracing knitting, embroidery, baking, gardening, and other so-called grandma hobbies. From there, virality was easy, with thousands of posts showing cozy interiors, handmade clothing, and vintage objects, all evoking the warm, cluttered atmosphere of a grandma's home. The movement is also a timely response to our increasingly fast-paced, hyper-connected world, a way to celebrate slowness, mindfulness, and simple pleasures. After all, when both hands are absorbed in creating something, doom scrolling on your phone isn't an option. Today, it's the norm for people to move away from their families and build new lives in different cities or even different countries. And Grandmacore speaks to the positivity of connection. Joining a craft circle, knitting group, or a baking club, even if it's organized through social media, is an antidote to modern loneliness and recreates the ties that once bound local communities. Just like the new book club I have been talking about that I've recently joined. And I think I'm probably sure. Side note, I think I'm going to be joining the local gym. They're so small in my small town, they actually give you a key for when they're not open. Are you kidding me? Okay, I'm pretty excited. Anyhow, it goes on to say it makes sense that this craving for nostalgic comfort is now changing how we travel. Instead of rushing between crowded sites or shopping for designer labels in Rome and Paris, many of us want to slow down, learn something, and make lasting memories or connections. It's already clear in travelers' booking behavior. Here is what astounded me. 94% of people want to tap into this grandma mindset on vacation, and local storytelling, crafts, and cooking appeal most. According to the Rise of Grandma Tourism report in Get Your Guides Booking for workshops and classes more than doubled between 2023 and 2025, and experiences with grandma are increasingly popular, with 69% of travelers preferring a local older guide. I just thought this was so interesting and so homey and so lovely. And I think that we could absolutely tie this into retreating, don't you? I do follow this adorable girl on YouTube. Let's see if I can bring her up. She recently went to Spain on a conference on a solo trip, but she opted to stay at a homestay with a grandma. By the way, her name is Cassie Aaron. She is just a hoot. You're just gonna have to check her out and take my word for it. Tell me what you think in the comments.
Than crazy and stayed with a local grandma in Spain instead of staying at a hotel. Today, I checked out a grandma's house to go to a real hotel. But I never gave you guys a grandma's house room tour, starting with the bed and my storage. It is a twin size. She gave me 3 things, including a mirror, a candle, and a box of tissues, which has been the best thing ever because I'm still blowing my nose from Coachella. She gave me 2 towels. Not gonna lie, the main blanket on the bed, not the comfiest. A bedside table that's a little bit far away, but it's got a lamp and 2 outlets. A dining table that overlooks the window with a single chair. And also 1 plant to feel at home. View from the window, honestly, pretty good. I have to check out of here in 5 minutes. I'm kind of sad that Grandma's not home. She told me yesterday how much she was going to miss me. I'm going to see if I could find any paper so that I can leave her a little note telling her how amazing this day was and how much I loved getting to know her. But for now, I got to fix my hair and get out of here. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Because today is going to be our 2nd day of exploring Alicante. I just got to notice that my flight is boarding right now. I missed it on purpose. I decided to stay in Spain a little bit longer. In fact, we're going to do a whole little mini series here because I found some pretty cool things. So I'm getting excited because I am. I'll see you guys in the next one, baby.
It was so funny because the grandma actually dissed her on the first night, and uh, I was shocked that she went ahead and went the second night, but they made up right away, and she stayed there, I think she said 10 days. And then producer Penelope wanted us to take a look at this TikTok. For those of you who can't see what we are looking at, it is a beautiful location with total Grandmacore vibe. Looks like on an ocean, and it appears to be like a crochet get together. They're making some adorable crochet covers that go over your headset. I would be so cute in them right now. But just to wrap that up, Johannes Reck, the co-founder of Get Your Guide, perfectly captured why this is happening. He said that travel isn't about just turning up and ticking boxes anymore. It's about learning something meaningful from the people who actually live it and know it. And as our lives become increasingly digital, travelers are craving moments to slow down, reconnect, and engage with culture really passed down through generations in a really human way. How beautiful is that? I mean, a 250% growth? That is not a blip. That's a seismic shift in how people want to spend their money and their time. And honestly, producer Penelope called it a few weeks ago, and she was right. I hate it when she's right. So naturally, after reading all of this, our retreat brains just went into Grandmacore overdrive. We start thinking knitting retreats, crocheting weekends, grandma vibes in a Tuscan villa, laces and stripes and florals and velvets and tassels and all the things. And that is how we arrived on this week's retreat review, which is fair warning, going to make you want to book a retreat immediately. Penelope, let's go. We are at ohsoprettyandclever.com. We will put a link in the show notes, of course. And it looks like they are doing exactly what we are talking about. And the first thing you see on their website is a sold out retreat. Now, full disclosure, this retreat did happen this month, so no wonder it's sold out. But it looks like they've had lots of sold out retreats over the years. I think the last one or the oldest one I read about was 2024. But let's go ahead and check out this sold out retreat. It's Crochet in Tuscany 2026. Join us for a 6-night, all-inclusive creative escape. And it says, a crochet retreat crafted for the soul and the senses. Weather. We love the word weather, and we know Chat GPT does too. So it always is Like, I don't know. It just, and now it seems like I use the word weather more. So anyhow, here we go. Whether you're rekindling your love for crochet or looking to deepen your skills, you'll be guided by expert tutors. Awesome. Pampered with exquisite food, magnificent, and immersed in a truly magical setting. If you've been yearning for a break that feels both restful and creatively rich, this is your invitation. Now, that is exactly what we are talking about. It goes on to show pictures of this beautiful villa and the grounds with places to sit, and the views are magnificent. The dining table looks beautiful. Those look like olive leaves or maybe eucalyptus leaves that they've decorated the tablescape with. I mean, they're doing a really good job. Let's take a look at these rooms real quick. This room is completely pink in a really kind of darky shade of pink and does look pretty grandma-core-ish with an older couple of swivel armchairs in there, pink as well, and pink carpet. So pink walls, pink carpet, and pink swivel chairs. The bed thankfully has a green, sage green bed covering on it, but it's beautiful. The view looks like it is magnificent. You can't see it perfectly, but it looks really nice. And then there is another room here that is more of a sage green and has a softer look to it, and also that same view. So the place just looks magnificent. Let's read about it a bit. Unplug from the everyday and step into a sun-drenched world where creativity flows as freely as the wine. They're talking my lingo. Nestled in the hills above Lucca. Okay, uh, I shouldn't say they're really talking my lingo because as I've got older, I'm not able to tolerate wine like I used to. So I've kind of quit. Like, ugh, it's terrible. I mean, if I'm in Tuscany, though, I'll be drinking the wine. Okay. Nestled in the hills above Lucca, this luxurious crochet retreat invites you to slow down, reconnect with your passion, and enjoy Italy at its most beautiful. Surrounded by vineyards, olive groves, and a small circle of like-minded makers, you'll enjoy 6 days of pure inspiration, indulgence, and joy. Each moment from the meditative rhythm of crochet to unforgettable excursions is designed to nourish your creativity and lift your spirit. It sounds like a great time if crochet is your thing. I can crochet like, but not very good. Let's just leave it at that. If you've been yearning for a break that feels both restful and creatively rich, this is your invitation. And I really did enjoy their Instagram feed as well, so you might want to check that out. Penelope, please put a link in the show notes for everyone to grab to meet Oh So Pretty and Clever here on Instagram. And their feed is filled with what looks like some amazing workshops and retreats. So I'm sure you're going to want to check it out and see if this is a retreat you would be interested in, or maybe seeing how you could add this type of a feeling to your retreats. There are a couple of different things that they do right on this retreat that I think is something we can all learn from. They give a custom gift bag filled with premium yarns, patterns, and creative goodies and tell you that there is no need to pack your entire stash. The food is 4-star accommodation. There's unlimited coffee, tea, and pastries. Yes. And a 3-course dinner every single night. And where wellness is concerned, they have a swimming pool, a gym, and a jacuzzi that you can use at your leisure when you're not clicking hooks. And the vibe is great because it's a small group. There's one-on-one mentoring. You end up forming a deep community. And of course, UK weekends and villas in Tuscany. Yes, please. Sign me up. It's no wonder they're sold out because people who find things this good, and that is your lesson for today, dreamers. Get on their list, get on their radar, be the person who doesn't wait. And speaking of not waiting, drop us a comment right now. Tell us what your Grandmacore hobby is. Are you a crocheter, a baker, a compulsive candlestick maker? Tell us. We genuinely read every comment, and producer Penelope judges them lovingly, lovingly. She said lovingly. These examples are exactly what we are talking about today here on the podcast. The rise of creative intensives. We're talking about a major shift in how people use their time off. The old way of vacationing was an escape, laying on the beach, drinking something sweet, and trying to forget your real life for 7 days. But the new wave of travelers and retreaters, we want transformation. We want to return home with a finished manuscript, a stretched canvas, or brand new skill we didn't have when we boarded that plane. Penelope, you were just showing me earlier how so many of these craft first type retreats are popping up around the world, right? From the attendees' point of view, if you are searching for that breakthrough and looking for one of those experiences, you need to understand that creative intensives are very different from a standard hobby weekend. It's not a casual crafting circle. Nothing against those. They're a lot of fun. But these are high vibe, immersive containers designed to push you past your creative blocks. When you are looking for this creative retreat, you should look for isolation from distractions. You want a venue that handles the cooking and the cleaning and the logistics completely. Your only job should be waking up and stepping up to the canvas or the keyboard. A lot of them have built-in mentorship like the one we were just looking at, where they said they had look for those retreats that offer those structured master classes in the morning, followed by uninterrupted studio time in the afternoon with that expert in the room who can look over your shoulder and help you out when you get stuck. And then the magic happens at dinner when you are sitting down with 12 other like-minded people who are all fighting the same creative battles that you are. The loneliness of being an artist completely dissolves. I mean, imagine spending a week in a French chateau where your only responsibility is writing chapter 4. That is how you turn a bucket list dream into a true masterpiece. And then from a retreat leader's perspective, maybe you are a master chef, an artist, or an author. How do you apply this high growth trend into your business model? First, I would say you have to lean into this intensive branding. People are willing to pay premium dollars if they know they are walking away with tangible outcomes. Another thing I would do is structure the wins. I wouldn't just give open-end free time. Code the schedule so that they hit milestones. Day 1 is ideation. Day 3 is messy middles. Day 5 is final polish. And like we have seen in these examples in retreat news and reviews, you want to curate the environment. So if Grandmacore is what you're thinking, it is so perfect if you are hosting a writing or book retreat, quiet nooks, charging stations, and plenty of coffee. Or if it's a painting intensive, the lighting of the venue needs to be perfect. And try to match the venue's physical assets to the exact physical needs of the craft. And my favorite, because it gives you a break and attendees love it, incorporate the local culture. Do what the grandma guides do. If you are hosting an art retreat in Mexico, maybe you could bring in a local artisan to teach the traditional pigment mixing. Connect your attendees to the history of the soil they are standing on. And if you are a retreat center, a bed and breakfast, a cabin in the woods, this creative movement is a gold mine for off-season bookings. Creative intensives don't require a perfect beach, although it is nice. And they don't require perfect weather. In fact, a moody, rainy weekend in a cabin is exactly what a novelist needs. Of course, you want to create those dedicated spaces, underutilized spaces like sunro- sunrooms, lofts, or covered porches into temporary studios. You might want to invest in high quality, movable work tables and comfortable ergonomic chairs. Your guests will be sitting for up to 8 hours, so comfort is king. And then I always like to theme the nourishment if I can. It really brings it all together. And you want to feed that creative brain. Offer brain boosting menus like fish and fresh produce that's locally gathered. And of course, keep those coffee pots brewing. Also, remember to collaborate early. Reach out to local instructors and offer your venue as a turnkey solution. Tell them you bring the students, we'll handle the lodging and the meals. It is a win-win partnership, one that I love venturing into, and one that fills your rooms year round. Before we wrap up today's deep dive, we want to look into what actually happens when you step into one of these containers. What does it mean to unlock the Muse? The Muse isn't some magical fairy that sometimes decides to visit you. The Muse is just your untapped potential, waiting for permission to speak. Back home, you are drowning out that voice with grocery lists, work deadlines, and laundry. But when you step into a creative retreat, something happens. Something shifts. By removing the noise of your everyday life, you give your brain the space to wonder again. You aren't just learning a new technique. You are remembering who you are as a creator. You are giving your ideas the respect they deserve by dedicating real time and maybe a real destination to it, to them. That breakthrough moment when that breakthrough moment when the words finally start flowing on that paper or the colors on that canvas perfectly matches the vision in your head. That is the masterpiece. Finished product is just a souvenir of the breakthrough. Before I let you go, I have one tiny homework assignment for you. Just one. If anything we talked about here today sparked even the smallest flicker, a story you've been putting off, a skill you've been dreaming of mastering, a trip you have almost been booking, I want you to text one person right now and say, that's it. Plant the seed and see what grows. And if you love today's episode, share it with that friend. Let it be the nudge that changes both your lives. Hit subscribe so you never miss the roadmap and leave us a review. It genuinely helps more dreamers find their way here. Penelope made me say that last part. But next week, I need you to mark your calendar because you are going to want to be here for this one. Our dear friend of the podcast, Karen Talavera, the accidental seeker, will be here to continue the discussion on sacred medicines, the changes in the laws that have come out and what they mean for us. But mostly, both her and I want everyone to start opening up their hearts enough to listen to something that might work for you or for a loved one. I know it will be a conversation that will quietly rearrange something inside of you. You'll finish the episode, go sit down, make a cup of tea, and just sit with it for a while. Karen has that effect on you. She is so smart and has done the research and really puts it together in a logical, loving way. It's fantastic. I love having Karen on the show. So set a reminder. Tell a friend that this will be the week you don't want to miss. Until then, dreamers, keep retreating, keep exploring, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.